Demando, what's the worst Tetris game I've played? Oh, I can tell you exactly the worst Tetris game I played. Down the controller for a second. So, if you don't know, you might want to check out my stream from last Thursday. You can check out the VOD, of course, in the videos tab. But I played Magical Tetris Challenge. Now, that's not the worst Tetris game I played. That is, in fact, the best Tetris game. Not just the best Tetris game I played, it is the best Tetris game, period. I will accept no arguments, don't at me. It's the best Tetris game in the world, end of discussion. However, there's another kind of game that's in that format. It's kind of like a versus game where it's you versus an opponent at all times. So it's you versus a computer or you versus a second player. It's like Tetris. It's not like Tetris 99, it's Tetris 2. But there's another game, versus game, that's like that, and it's called Tetris Battle Gaiden. Japan only released for the Super Nintendo. In fact, I will eventually get around to playing that game on this stream at some point in, a couple months future. But what it is, a versus Tetris game, always one versus human or one versus computer. And it's got a kind of standard Tetris on the surface, but the gimmick is that you don't really kill your opponent by sending lines over. That happens, of course, but there's a system that involves like collecting power-ups and kind of saving them up until you get like a magic attack, so you can royally screw over your opponent. I mean, if you can get like the most powerful magic attacks, they're dead. They're like dead Tetris player Tetrising kind of thing. One type of power-up that you can get inverts their playing field, and what I mean by invert is that wherever the highest level is, all the blocks switch with all the empty spaces. So if you've got a really nice, V-shaped well, and they hit you with that power-up, all of a sudden you've got a bunch of empty space at the bottom, one long line, and like 3 or 4 block lines at the very top of your well to dig through. And there's another one where it will like randomly bomb a lot of random holes in your playfield. So you're basically playing a B-type Tetris while the other guy's sending over a million lines to you. There are like assist power-ups or like helper power-ups. A good one will push all of your blocks in your well to the far left or open up a well in the middle. One really annoying one will turn all of your opponent's blocks metal, which means they have to clear those blocks twice for them to exit the playfield. So you combine some of those crazy power-ups with some of the fuck you power-ups, basically what they are. It's crazy. It's a crazy game, and in fact, like, the magic attacks are so powerful, it does not play like a Tetris game at all. The entire game is 100% trying to get like the little magic blocks that fill up your power-up gauge. You cannot play that game like Tetris, even though it is a Tetris game. So Tetris Battle Gaiden. I did a funny story about Tetris Battle Gaiden. Earlier this year in January, we had a retro game festival here in the Los Angeles area called Retro City Fest. I go to it every year. It's a fantastic event. If you're in LA, you should check it out in January. Although I think it's going to be February or March this next year. So, they have all the retro games. They have the classic arcade setup. Last year they had the Nintendo PlayStation prototype there, which was amazing. Got to play that. They also have the Classic Tetris World Championships West Coast qualifier there. I'm not the best at high-speed NES Tetris. I kind of dabble in it. But two things about that event, since we're talking about Tetris and Tetris Battle Gaiden. One, this year they had the Nintendo World Championships reunion. Like the Nintendo World Championships would have the special NES card where you had to get 50 coins in Mario Brothers and beat the first level in Rad Racer as fast as possible, and then get the highest score possible in Tetris. And I've never played one of those cards before, and I was going up against people who were like experts in Tetris, but I somehow won the damn event. So I'm technically the 2019 Nintendo World Championships champion. I know, it's crazy. And then, besides that, though, there was also a side tournament on the last day for Tetris Battle Gaiden. And our group of friends here in Southern California, we do play that on occasion. Like, all my friends swear by Tetris Battle Gaiden. I'm like, that game's terrible. You want to play Magical Tetris Challenge? We play both. And so, like I see this, I'm telling everybody, like, dude, you gotta come on Sunday. There's this Tetris Battle Gaiden tournament. And, like, nobody I know in our group to play it shows up. And there's, like, 6 people in the tournament. I have to explain to everybody else in the tournament how to play this game. Because it's not, like, first of all, it's in Japanese because it's import, Japanese region only. But most of all, is that you can't, if you play it like a regular Tetris game, you will die very quickly. So, as I'm explaining to everybody, there's one guy who picks it up really quick, and he finished second. Of course, I finished first because I was the only one who knew what he was doing. But it was still weird, like I asked the guys, like, why are we holding a Tetris Battle Gaiden tournament? Like, what's this about? Nobody plays this, nobody knows this. And they just said, well, the people we work for, they said, pick this game at this tournament. Like, okay, so got that medal. But, yeah, Tetris Battle Gaiden, it's not a good, in my opinion, I mean, it's insane, but it's not a good Tetris game. It's not a good multiplayer Tetris game. It's not fun to play at all. But I guess technically it's a Tetris game, and it is definitely the worst Tetris game I've played, in my opinion. So, Tetris Battle Gaiden. Look it up.